When it comes to trade, a business needs to rely on transportation. Transport is an extremely risky process that faces exposure to various named and unnamed perils. Businesses need to take steps cautiously from packing the goods to be transported to choosing reliable logistics methods for smooth transits. However, despite all safety measures taken, accidents can still happen, resulting in a loss or damage to shipment or cargo. In order to manage these transport risks, it's important to avail transportation insurance. Both in the case of domestic and international shipments, cargo transportation insurance is intended for shippers and covers losses caused to goods or property while being transported by water, land, and air, or during multimodal transportation. Cargo transportation insurance is often called marine insurance, which originated when parties began to ship goods via sea. Despite what the name implies, marine insurance applies to all modes of transportation of goods. For instance, when goods are shipped by air, the insurance is known as the contract of marine cargo insurance. When it comes to marine insurance, there are some major parties involved. The insurer or underwriter is the party that assumes the risk of the operation in accordance with the policy conditions, and indemnifies the insured in connection with the occurrence of risks insured. Insured or insurant is the party responsible for contracting the insurance and for the supply of the information required for preparation of the policy and the premium payment. What you need to know is that the insured may not necessarily be the claimant. The claimant or applicant is the party who has the insurable interest of the goods when the goods are damaged or lost. Insurance broker and insurance agent are the two types of insurance sales professionals. Both of them act as intermediaries between insurance buyers and insurance companies. The different services they provide will depend on where their interests align. Insurance brokers represent insurance buyers, while insurance agents represent one or more insurance companies. By purchasing insurance, the insured protects his financial interest against three things: the risk of loss, the actual loss, and the expenses incurred to avoid or reduce loss. Obviously, risk, loss, and expenses covered are closely related to each other. Loss may result from the risk, necessary measurements would be taken, and some expenses thus incur. Marine risks in connection with cargo in transit can be classified into two types: perils of the sea and extraneous risks. Broadly speaking, peril of the sea is defined to cover everything that happens to ship during the voyage by the acts of God. In fact, the disasters caused by both natural calamities and fortuitous accidents are regarded as perils of the sea. Natural calamities refer to the disasters caused by the forces resulting from the changes of nature, such as weather, sudden, tsunami, earthquake, flood, etc. While fortuitous accidents are caused by external, haphazard, unexpected reasons, such as stranded, grounded, sank, capsized, collision, fire, explosion, etc. The risks caused by external reasons other than natural disasters or fortuitous accidents are extraneous risks. According to the nature of risk, they can be divided into general extraneous risks and special ones. General extraneous risks include theft or pilferage, fresh or rainwater damage, shortage, leakage, breakage, sweating and heating, intermixture and contamination, taint of odor, hook damage, breakage of packing, rusting, etc. While special extraneous risks are often related to politics, monetary affairs, conventions, and international policy, laws such as war, strike, seizure, etc. Marine losses are damages of insured goods incurred by perils of the sea. According to the extent of damage, losses in marine insurance fall into two types: total loss and partial loss. Total loss is the damage that a set of goods or interceptable goods are totally lost. If the goods lost or badly hurt that lose their form or avail or cannot belong to the owner, that is called actual loss. If the cargo is not totally lost, but the actual total loss shall be unavoidable, or the restoration fees together with other miscellaneous expenses will exceed the anticipated amount of profit, it is called constructive total loss. Partial loss refers to the damage that does not reach the degree of total loss. Average in maritime law means loss or damage. An average may be particular or general. A particular average, accidentally insured by sea perils, is borne by the owner of the damaged property, unless he was insured against the risk. A general average is an extraordinary loss incurred to preserve the common interest that is borne in common by the owners of all the property engaged in the venture. There is no effective way to determine beforehand which pieces of cargo will be jettisoned or sacrificed if trouble on the high seas occurs. And there is no way to guess when and where that trouble might arise. Therefore, the risk is spread among all the owners of the cargo. The differences between GA and PA lie in some fears. First, GA is an extraordinary loss incurred to preserve the common interest, while PA is a partial loss accidentally incurred by sea perils. Second, GA is a voluntary and deliberate loss, while PA is purely accidental and unforeseen. Third, the costs of GA cannot be insured, while the costs of PA can be insured. And fourth, GA affects general or common interest, while PA involves only particular property or interest. Fifth, GA loss must be reasonable and prudent, but here is not such a condition for PA loss. Sixth, GA is an extraordinary character of general nature, while PA is of ordinary character and of a particular nature. Last, the loss shall be shared by all the owners of cargo in GA, while PA loss falls entirely upon the owner. In the transportation world, risk, loss, and damage are simply facts of life. In the loss adjustment, it is necessary to categorize and adjust the various expenses incurred. Suit and labor charges and salvage charges are two types of expenses that can be incurred. When the insured cargo suffers natural calamities or fortuitous accidents within the scope of insurance cover, the insured or his agent or any employees pays the expenses caused in saving the insured cargo in order to prevent the losses from further expanding. That is called suit and labor charge. When the insured cargo suffers a natural calamity or a fortuitous accident within the scope of insurance cover, the third party, who has no contracted relations with the insured and the insurer, acts as a volunteer and salvages the cargo successfully. That is called salvage charge. The principle of no cure, no pay was the focal point of salvage law for many centuries. In essence, the reward depended on the success of the recovery. That is, there are no prices for trying, whatever the expense of the operation. Besides, some extra expenses may occur, including the fee for reconnaissance, notarization, calculation, auction, and the fee for offload, stored goods, etc. It is very important to have a clear understanding of the above-mentioned concepts, since some of the risks are not covered by the relevant insurance. Based on these three terms, risks, losses, and expenses, we will have a better understanding of the content of marine insurance in the following lectures. Next time, more points on the marine insurance will be discussed. Looking forward to it. See ya.